Think about it. A simple act of launching balloons has managed to trigger a diplomatic row between two of the world's largest and most powerful nations. On one side, we have the United States, known for its strong stance on freedom of speech and expression. On the other side, we have China, a country determined to maintain its sovereignty and protect its citizens from outside influence. So, buckle up and get ready to dive into the fascinating world of international relations from US and China to the latest news about the tensions rise around the world. This is a story you won't want to miss. Politics in both Washington and Beijing are a major factor in defining the relationship between the two nations, and any incident can trigger a new round of recriminations. Republicans are portraying the incident as a violation of US sovereignty and are demanding that President Biden take action against China. Meanwhile, China's foreign ministry has expressed regret over the unintended entry of the balloon and says it will communicate with the US to resolve the situation. The incident may have been a result of China losing control of its balloon, but it still has a potential to further escalate tensions between the two nations. The atmosphere around the talks was already strained, with a recent memo by a US Air Force general warning of a potential war with China in 2 years. The Chinese surveillance balloon is just another small drama that has not only ruined the planned visit, but will further fan the political flames that elevate hawks in Washington and Beijing, who see conflict as inevitable. Canada was also tracking the balloon's movements and working with their American partners to monitor the situation. The incident may turn out to be harmless, but it is still a reminder of how isolated events can send Sino-US tensions soaring. The world's most critical geopolitical relationship is so torqued in both countries that it makes it difficult to find a solution to the current tensions. The balloon incident has sparked fury in Washington and threatens to unleash political, military, and diplomatic forces in both nations, making it hard to prevent this growing rivalry from reaching a boiling point. This all happened at a time when there was a small window between Chinese President Xi Jinping securing of a third term and the next US presidential election that could have facilitated an easing of diplomatic tensions. Unfortunately, this opportunity may now have been lost. Impact of American political outrage on diplomacy. Republicans, including former President Trump, accused the administration of being indecisive and weak for not immediately shooting down the balloon. Florida Senator Marco Rubio suggested that Biden's response raised questions about his ability to stand up to China's threats, particularly regarding democratic Taiwan. Meanwhile, Republicans ignored the fact that similar balloon flights over the US occurred during the Trump administration. While hawkishness is a political weapon for Republicans, many Democrats also see China as a rising threat. Biden has taken a confrontational stance against China, deepening US ties with Asian allies and seeking to bolster Western access to semiconductors. Despite the political fallout, it's unlikely to be the decisive factor in the 2024 election. Biden is expected to face further frustration this week with a possible resolution condemning his handling of the surveillance balloon, which could pass before the State of the Union address. Historical crises have been resolved, but contemporary China is distinct. The political tension between US and China could worsen, complicating efforts to improve Sino-US relations. The visit of Blinken, US Secretary of State, was seen as a step towards reducing tensions, but the balloon incident may turn US public opinion further against China, limiting Biden's diplomatic options. Additionally, a possible visit by White House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to Taiwan could violate the One China principle, further escalating tensions. The balloon crisis could also increase the risk of close encounters between US and Chinese forces, potentially leading to a military clash. A leaked memo from a US Air Force general warning that America needs to be ready for war with China further fuels the fear of an inevitable conflict. Diplomatic tensions due to American hostility. With China's growing power and ambitions, and US policy aimed at promoting democracy and its own power in the Pacific, these two nations are now seen as incompatible by many observers. Beijing believes that the US wants to prevent China's great power destiny, while the US wants to protect the Western-backed rule of law. China will defend itself. Chinese high-altitude balloon and the US military has resulted in a major setback for US-China diplomacy, experts say. Initially, China expressed regret over the incident, but after the balloon was shot down by the US military, the Chinese Foreign Ministry accused the US of overreacting and violating international practice. China's Defense Ministry also expressed protests and warned of necessary measures in similar situations. China's Foreign Ministry also stated that the debris of the balloon does not belong to the US. China's state media announced the head of the country's weather service was relieved of duty, which some analysts believe is an attempt to show the balloon was of civilian nature. The diplomatic fallout from the incident will have lasting consequences, with the relationship between the two countries heading to a dark place if a resolution is not found soon. The incident has not only strained the US-China diplomatic relationship, but it has also increased tensions in the Asia-Pacific region, as both countries are major players in the region. The US military's decision to shoot down the Chinese balloon has been criticized by some experts as it may trigger an escalation of military conflicts in the region. On the other hand, some believe that the US was justified in its action, given the uncertainty surrounding the balloon's purpose and origin. Meanwhile, the international community is closely watching the situation, with some nations calling for calm and diplomacy to resolve the issue. However, with both sides refusing to back down and tensions rising, it remains to be seen how the situation will be resolved. The situation has sparked a debate about the importance of protecting national security while also promoting peaceful diplomatic relations. China is not backing down. The Pentagon has confirmed to ABC News that a second Chinese surveillance balloon has been seen detected in South America. According to initial reports on Friday, the balloon was seen flying over Colombia and Venezuela. Brig General Pat Ryder stated, "We now assess it is another Chinese surveillance balloon." The discovery of these surveillance balloons raises concerns about China's intentions and its potential impact on national security. But it is a story for another day. That marks the end of today's video. What do you think about the tensions between the US and China? Who will make the first major decision and what consequences the world needs to face in the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tap the bell icon so you can get notifications about any future videos.